Prescott, he got his big contract last year, just on the first Sunday of the regular season, $60 million a year, highest paid player in the NFL until Josh Allen jumped him, and he did. I know we see the graphic with Dak at 60 and Josh at 55. The truth is, if we're going to do apples to apples, Josh is at 55 and Dak's at 53 or 54. But he had the hamstring injury on October. I was going to say, yes, it was November 3rd. November 3rd. That's when he suffered the hamstring injury. Now, most hamstring injuries you suffer in early November. When are you back? Mid-December at the latest. This sounds like it was a pretty serious hamstring injury.
It does.
We are months after the fact. Let's hear it straight from him. Listen to his words carefully and ask yourself, does this sound like any hamstring injury you've ever heard of before? Here he is from over the weekend on his recovery from that hamstring injury.
Yeah, I'm getting close to where I want to be. I don't want to put a percentage on it. Know we've got team activities coming up. Imagine myself being involved in some sort of, not all, but then again, understanding my age, what I've went through is, it's about getting to the fall and being my best in the fall. So not rushing anything, but I'm where I want to be.
I can understand it for a torn ACL, a ruptured Achilles, right? A hamstring injury. That sounds like as severe of a hamstring injury as
like
you
a tear.
could have.
Right.
Yes.
That's what I would expect.
Like torn off the bone.
Right, maybe. And maybe really high up in the hamstring, which was what we thought, I think, when it originally happened, because you saw him. The higher up it is, closer it is to the glute, the butt there, that's the most dangerous spot to pull. And, yeah, it is kind of shocking, though. I'm with you. And the fact that quarterback, here we are almost 6 months later, and we're talking about, oh, yeah, if I had to play today, I guess I could, all of that. Yeah, I didn't think to hear that type of language or think we were going to hear that type of language from Dak Prescott. But they need him. We know that. This is an offense that we all got questions about. It's Brian Schottenheimer. He's coming in. What's going to be his new wrinkle to the offense? How is he going to add to it? We talked about a million times before of Dak Prescott. Hey, you're the highest paid quarterback in football or the second highest paid quarterback in football, but you're probably barely top 10 in the league, so there's pressure on you there. There's not a lot of playmakers on the offense. All they know how to do is feed one guy, CeeDee Lamb. They can't feed anybody else. So, yeah, they need him to be tip-top, like playing his A game this year for sure. Hopefully he can do that.
And this is an example of what can happen after the team gives the player significant security against injury. And Dak was healthy. Now he's had a history of injury, but he was healthy at the time they did the contract. But guy gets injured, and you got a lot of money committed to a guy who missed half the season and about whom there are questions entering 2025. It gets back to what we were talking about with Aiden Hutchinson. There's a certain element of risk. That's why they call it injury risk. Somebody's got to bear the consequence of the risk. And when the team ends up bearing it, the fans get upset. It's like we're paying all this money to a guy who can't play. Well, that's how it works when you have a great player. You got to give him that safety net. You got to give him that protection against injury so he still gets his money.
Yeah, I guess. And he plays a kind of a physical brand of football. He stands in the pocket. He's kind of big like that. He takes hits. So that is, the price of paying your quarterback and the quarterback like that to that type of money. Let alone, with the injury. And I don't know if we have a clip of when he did the injury, but I would like to show this because I was looking at it last night too, right? He hurt his hamstring throwing the football. Do you know how rare that is? Actually, I've never heard of it in my life, and I am a historian, and I've thrown footballs all my life. And that is in itself a flaw, and I could see part of the reason why he's still dealing with this. He has mechanical flaws in the way he throws the football. Mike, we're both lefties, so we got to flip it around. But for a righty quarterback, you step with your left foot, right? And drive forward towards the target. Dak Prescott, as you even see here, his left foot, a lot of the times when he throws it, it comes backwards. It almost does a slide backwards, like he hinges on that hamstring, which is really rare. He points his toe directly to the target. He's one of the rare in the history of the football at quarterback that point the toe exactly at the target. And therefore, it makes him straighten his leg out, and he actually throws and pulls his lower body backwards as his arm goes forwards when he throws the ball. It's one of the more odd things I've ever seen before out of any quarterback, and it's going to continue to be an issue if he continues to throw the same way we just saw in that clip right there.
Well, and it might have just been some chronic situation where it was inflamed, it was bothering him, and he pushed through it.
Exactly.
And what happens?
Could be.
It finally just goes. It just pops, and that's it. Which means, and I think back to the quarterback for the team that were playing that day, and that day ended up being Kirk Cousins' last good game that we saw last year. Lit up his former head coach, Mike Zimmer, who was coordinating the Dallas defense. But we saw Kirk Cousins struggle to get power on the ball because he had the ruptured Achilles tendon, and he generates everything from the bottom all the way to the top. And if you've got that same issue with Dak Prescott where he's using that glute area, that hamstring area to generate his power on the football, the power's got to come from somewhere.
Exactly.
And you better be damn sure that that's healed before you start doing it again. Because if it's not and you start doing it again, what's going to happen? Same damn thing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You better be careful with it. And we'll see. It's a big year for him, the Dallas Cowboys, all of that. And this is I feel like the first year, second year maybe, where I'm like, hey, Dak, his level of play, he's got to raise it. He's got to play at a higher level, be more awesome, carry the team, do all of that. Especially with his contract on top of it. It's a big year for the Dallas Cowboys and him both.
Hey, Dak is Kirk Cousins right now.
A little bit. You're exactly right.
Worked the system.
Right.
And was forced to work the system because the Cowboys waited too long to pay him, just like Washington waited too long to pay Kirk Cousins. So they didn't choose to become these examples of excellent player business manipulation. They were forced into it. And once they realized it worked, they got empowered by it and emboldened by it. But where are the results? Where are the postseason appearances? Where are the postseason victories? Where's the NFC Championship appearance? And the more money you get, the more pressure you have, the higher the expectation is.
Right.
So, I mean, he's the which doesn't belong in why if we start rattling off the very highest paid quarterbacks and the highest cash flow, because Mahomes is up there with the cash flow too. Dak's the one that doesn't fit with Josh Allen and Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes.
No, and Lamar.
He's going to be.
No.
We're talking about quarterbacks turning 30.
Right.
He turns 32 this summer.
I know. The clock's ticking. He, like we talked about, the team, they're in limbo. He hasn't been the best. He's hurt last year. He's been hurt a few times over the last few years in general. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the Dallas Cowboys do. That situation, and we still got Micah's contract that we haven't addressed and figured out yet, which is still confusing to me. But, yes, as usual, Dallas has got some issues.
And the Brian Schottenheimer hire was a placate Dak move. It was that or Kellen Moore. Somebody that was familiar with Dak Prescott and somebody with whom Dak Prescott was familiar. But for the fact that the Saints were all over Kellen Moore and the Cowboys couldn't lowball Kellen Moore, they probably would have hired him. But they go with Schottenheimer, they bump him up, and Dak said some things on Friday, positive, glass half full. It feels like it's a weird time for the Dallas Cowboys, and that injury makes it even weirder. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.